Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you some quick tips to try and maximize your FPS in Diablo 4. Now, first of all, if you don't know, the shortcut to view your FPS is going to be Control plus R on the PC, and then down there on the bottom left of the screen, you'll see right now, I'm getting a frame rate somewhere in the 130s. So there are some little quick settings type things you can do that might help you with some of the stuttering and stuff that you're experiencing. Diablo 4, since it came out, has had all sorts of issues in conflicting with recording software like OBS or Streamlabs OBS, or just kind of stuttering on PCs that seem to be easily able to handle or should be able to handle Diablo 4 and all sorts of different things. So I want to show you a couple things to try and get a little bit more performance. Let's get into it. Okay, so I don't want to bore you by going through every single setting on here. I'm going to try to kind of be quick with the different tips, but you do want to go through your different graphics settings. And if you're having issues, maybe try just turning some things down a little bit, like coming off of Ultra and going more towards the middle or towards the lower end. And then down here, you can make sure you have distortion disabled and then enable low FX. And some of that should give you a little bit of a bump in your performance for sure, backing off some of those ultra highly cracked settings. And then this is going to be an important one. Under the social tab in options, which by the way, you can't be in game to do this. You have to be back on the character select screen. And when you're there in kind of like the main screen of the game, you can click on options, go under social, and this top part right here, cross network. If you disable this stuff right here, I think the important one is going to be cross network play. You can leave cross network communications on, and then that should be okay. But some people have experienced some big performance jumps and less stuttering and stuff like that by turning off some of this cross network type stuff in game. And that's an important one to take note of, because sometimes if you're trying to play with a friend or something, they're on a different platform, you may run into that issue. So what you're going to need to do is back out, leave the game, come back to this main menu and do kind of what I just showed you, go into options and make sure you have that cross play enabled. And then there's also a couple things on the BNet app that are worth trying as well. So if you go over to the Diablo 4 section, we want to click on the little settings wheel down here by the play option. And there's a couple different things to take note of. So if you go into game settings, then we're going to click up top on the app option, scroll all the way to the bottom. And then this thing right here, this use hardware acceleration. It says disabling hardware acceleration may resolve compatibility issues, but it may also adversely affect performance. Now, this ends up being a little bit buggy in terms of how it performs on some PCs, and some people have reported getting a massive spike in their performance, less stuttering, and the game just running a lot more smooth if they disable this, which is a little bit counterintuitive. But yes, uncheck that and then see if that helps you get a little bit of performance. It wasn't a huge thing for me. It might have helped a little bit, but some people have gotten massive gains by making sure to uncheck use hardware acceleration. And then also in that same settings wheel right here, if you go to modify install, one thing you kind of want to make sure to do is click modify install right here and make sure you have installed the high resolution assets. Now, a lot of you probably did already, but it's something you definitely want to check because this can help you a little bit with like loading screens and stuff like this. And again, everybody's got different internet, different PC, different programs, different software, different things going on. Some people get a good bump from making sure to do this. Some people don't really see much of a difference, but it's something for you to try, and you just want to kind of hit all these bases and hopefully it's going to improve your performance. Now, there's some other things you can do, like going into Windows and reducing your overall power plant performance from like 100 to 99, or going into your video card settings with like MSI Afterburner and stuff like that. But I didn't really do any of that stuff personally, and I was able to get the game functioning pretty smooth, but there's lots of options out there that are going to be dependent on you and your setup and everything kind of going on. But I did want to at least talk about some of these quick hit ones that you definitely want to think about kind of switching around to hopefully try it out and get a little bit more performance, because I know a lot of people are struggling with getting some stutters and all sorts of things happening in Diablo 4. So, okay, in summary, the too long didn't watch wrap up is going to be make sure you're in the main kind of character select screen, go under options, remove some of this stuff from off of Ultra. You can try vertical sync. This is going to, again, depend on your setup. A lot of this stuff depends. Turn it on, turn it off, see which one gives you less tearing, which one your mouse looks more smooth when you're scrolling and stuff like that. I've noticed, because I can tell, I have a 144 hertz monitor. You're not gonna be able to see because it's gonna be a different frame rate on like YouTube and stuff for the video, but I can sit here on like a blank area like this in the options screen, and I can kind of move my mouse back and forth, and how smooth it's moving from left to right. I can tell if my game is performing optimally. So I do this like in the menu, I do it in game, I kind of like move back and forth, try to go fast and see how smooth it is. And that gives me a good indicator if there's like memory leaks or there's some sort of incompatibility performance issue with Diablo 4. It's one of the things I kind of look at to try and see how smooth it is. You also want to do it in game, go to like a higher res area with lots of like trees and foliage and stuff, lots of enemies around, and do the same thing and kind of move your mouse around and see if it is going smooth. But then also remember under social to try it some different stuff with the cross network play settings. That might help you out. And then also doing the different cogwheel settings on the Battle.net launcher, and hopefully you'll get some FPS performance gains. And I'll pop into game here really quick so I can show you some of the specs and performance numbers that I get, and you can compare it to your setup if you would like. So let me go ahead and go into game, and let me get into a little bit more difficult situation with some stuff going on, and I'll show you what FPS I'm getting while recording, and then I'll list my spec, and then I'll also show you some of my performance stats over on the task manager and all of that. So again, remember Control R to pull up your FPS on the bottom. So you can see my FPS is pretty stable in the 130s if I'm just chilling in town without a whole lot going on with kind of the settings that I showed you earlier. And my PC isn't amazing, it's not trash, it's not top tier. I've actually got a new Starforge one coming soon. I'll have the same one that my good friend Diablo 4 has, so I'm gonna have that PC soon, and I'll be able to compare some of the settings and performance stuff that I'm getting with that compared to the setup that I have right now. But yeah, pretty stable in the 130s so far with some of the specs that you see over there on the right side of the screen. Now let me go ahead and head to an area with a little bit more going on. Okay, so now in a different town, and it looks like still in the 130s. Okay, let me get around some enemies and stuff here. Still in the 140, 130. Ooh, water is usually pretty rough. But water doesn't really... That water looks really good, by the way. That is... how it has the path behind you and stuff. That's really well done on the water physics here in the game. But usually water really dips your performance, but not really too bad. So it's okay. Let's get some stuff on the screen. Let's teleport in. Boom. I've got some of my settings lower. It didn't really seem to affect it. We're still holding strong in the 130s. Try to get like more mobs on me and stuff here. It's staying pretty steady. I've got like water and mobs and some particles from my spells. Yeah, pretty stable. And this is while I'm recording. It would be probably a little bit better if I wasn't recording, because like I said, OBS and Streamlabs and stuff can be pretty rough on your game. So yeah, pretty decent. I've gotten it to a point where disabling some stuff and adjusting some stuff has definitely made it better. I used to get stutters down around like 70 FPS and really have problems, and that's even with me not recording. So I do think that I've noticed a big bump in switching some of this stuff around in the different menus and in the Battle.net app. And then if you want to see my performance stats over there, yeah, CPU holding strong while recording and in game. So yeah, we got the graphics card about same, about 20%. CPU what about 30, and that's while recording and while playing, with some medium to low settings and some of that stuff disabled and kind of messed around with on the app as well. So I hope this video helped you get a little bit more performance and enjoyment out of Diablo 4. If it did, consider subscribing on your way out if you enjoy Diablo 4 content, and I will see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.